And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace, making you more street smart here as a consumer advocate in Tampa Bay. Save our hotline number in your phone. At some point you may need it. 813-750-0550. Call or text the hotline. We would love to connect with you on the hotline, 813-750-0550. And you can also check out our website, consumerqb.com, a plethora of information available for you on our website at consumerqb.com. We love to help you win in any marketplace, as we say, and we've got over 80 different categories of consumer advocate content and advice. So every day, you never know what you might get here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. CPAs, financial advisors, attorneys, all types of great home service providers on the show, health and nutrition, a lot of different topics that we talk about, self-defense as well as others. So today we're going to talk with Nathan Ginter, Chief Technology Officer of Vine IT. He's going to be back, and he's got a couple of great stories to share with us, as well as in studio, we've got attorney Jason Kobal. Welcome back, my friend.
Thank you, Brandon. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming in.
Welcome.
And we got Dan MENIKHEIM going to be joining us as well on the show, Prohealth Pest Control. Dan, and appreciate you joining us on the show today, my friend.
Good to be on.
Yes, sir. So let's jump right into it. So we've got our feel-good story of the day coming up as well. Boy with prosthetic leg finds best friend in a puppy born without a paw. So that's our feel-good story. And we've got Dan MENIKHEIM on the phone, longtime friend of the program, supporter of the Salem radio family here in Tampa Bay. Dan, what's happening in the real estate space? We talk a lot about contracts. We get deals under contract. And some of the, the home services around the real estate space are dealing with Prohealth Pest Control.
Yeah, you know what? One of the things we've noticed out there is newer homes being infected with termites and the drywood termites. And these are homes that are built within the past 10 years, and they actually have termites in the attic. Some of the green practices, this is a theory, right? I don't know how every piece of lumber that enters the new home was manufactured, but they used to put formaldehydes and things like that into the framing and stuff like that, and that's some sort of protection and stuff. And it would take about 20 to 30 years for that wood to be dry enough for a drywood termite. These are the termites that fly. There's two types in Florida. Drywood termite to actually to see those type of trusses and stuff and infect it. And we've actually seen a few cases over the past couple of weeks where we've actually seen newer homes with drywood termites. There's a simple solution. We can treat that without tenting it. We actually put a BoraCare product on there where it absorbs into the wood and it protects it for 99 years against any termites, subterranean or drywood termites. But that is new to us in 21 is the seeing drywood termites and such in attic spaces so recently, because the woods it's usually it's wood that's been treated, so it takes a long time for that treatment to wear out. So that's right. What's going on in my woods.
Yeah.
Or my attics.
Yeah, you think about potentially. I wonder if that's something to do with the supply chain being affected. But that would be relatively, brand new housing. You're talking about maybe up to 10 years. So it could just depend on where the mill is located?
Yeah, well, drywood termites, it takes 3 to 4 years for you to see evidence of it.
Okay.
So, but I don't know where's the lumber coming from. Sometimes it could be the drying process or the treatment process of the wood is insufficient. But I'm telling you, the rule of thumb in the industry is homes built in the 80s, 90s, and newer are not going to have drywood termites in the attic space in the trusses. Now, they may be in ceiling joists. You still got to look there, but it's just because the wood's too wet and it's too hard to get in. They can still be from the subterranean type. They're not that picky on the wood. They'll pretty much eat almost anything. There's a few types of wood that they don't like, but pretty much the subs will eat any wood. And actually, there's a myth that you have a concrete block home. In Florida, you don't need to treat it for termites. That's a myth that we see
right.
That every day where we see termites in other homes, but.
Yeah, there's other components than just concrete.
There's wood. In kitchen cabinets are nothing but a wood product. So
right. Yeah, we're talking with Dan MENIKHEIM here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, Prohealth Pest Control. Now, Dan, talk a little bit about your family-owned business. You and your lovely wife own and operate the business, and you work together as a family-run. Again, another example of a small business right here in Tampa Bay that we would love for our listeners to support.
Yeah, we're located here in the Tampa Bay area. We've been in business over 10 years. Pest control, it's owned by myself and my wife. We do have a partner in it who's been doing pest control for over 22 years, and he's lives right here locally. He's out there doing pest control every day, managing the business, doing well. Has 2 children. Our guys are they're really dedicated to doing a great service for everyone, and we do treat everybody like we want to be treated. That's the way we do. And you know what? It's worked out great. We get referrals every day from our customers. And if you want to learn more about us or check us out on Google or whatever. Our Google reviews, our Facebook reviews. It's prohealthpestcontrol.com. Check us out. You'll see how the other people see us.
And one of the things that was cool last week, I saw where Melissa had volunteered with the Keller Williams folks for Red Day. They take one day out of the year, or I think it might be a couple days, a few days, but Red Day was just recently, and they were building beds for one of the boys and girls homes or something like that. Dan, did you see that? Well,
they were building beds. It's a charity, but yeah, for boys and girls homes and stuff like that. And let me tell you something. There's no way you can keep me from being. I'm extremely busy. I still work in the field. We're typical business out here, but I will make time next year. She was so excited because you can hear some of the stories.
Yeah,
it is when they're building beds for children in need, right? And the story she told me about how excited they are when they get their new beds. Oh. I was like, whoa.
Bunk beds. Yeah, they're bunk beds too. That was cool.
Yeah. She built like 60 of them, or helped build 60 beds. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. We're talking with Dan MENIKHEIM here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, Prohealth Pest Control. Now, Dan, I've heard it said, a lot of people say, almost all houses have termites at some point. Is that what's the rule of thumb there, or is there a rule of thumb?
Well, I would just say that in Florida, to look at it, whether you use me or another pest control company like and trust. It's a part of your maintenance program.
Right.
I don't know any insurance company that insures termites. Because it's a part of a maintenance thing you got to do. You have to treat for the. You have to pre-treating for termites is the best bet. And the rule of thumb is either the home has termites or it's going to get termites. That's kind of the they've been saying that before I was born. It's just we're in the subtropical climate.
Yep.
And one thing we have in Florida is beautiful weather and lots of bugs.
That's right. Absolutely. And when you think about the best way to do that, I believe you have some type of a VIP program that people can get set up on quarterly treatments or monthly treatments. Is that right?
Yeah, we do a guaranteed pest control service for all your roaches, ants, and spiders, fleas and ticks, and anything like that, where it's a quarterly program. We come out every quarter to bait around the home and make sure there's no bugs or anything like that. And it's a guaranteed service. If anybody sees an issue and stuff like that. But we definitely we keep all products away from people and pets, and it's good for people, pets, and plants. And that's our pest control program for bugs. And then termite is probably an annual basis that we come out and have to do inspect or treat.
Nice. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for spending some time with us there, Dan. I appreciate you calling into the show. Prohealth Pest Control, everyone. Check him out online. Any final thoughts, Dan?
Yeah, it's been great to be on the program. It's good to know you and the show. So, yeah, thank you so much. You have a great day, too.
Hey, my pleasure. Thanks, Dan. All right, Dan MENIKHEIM, Prohealth Pest Control, longtime friend of the program, a great local company here to work with. Check them out online, prohealthpestcontrol.com. In studio as well, we got Jason Kobal, attorney Jason Kobal, that is, coming up. We're going to dive deep on some work comp law, personal injury law, and other areas in that space, as well as later in the show, Nate Ginter here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Stay with us. Don't touch that dial, and better yet, follow us online while you're at it. Check us out online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter, Consumer Quarterback Show page, and our YouTube channel has over 1,200 videos now on our YouTube channel. So we'd love for you to check that out, like it and share it, subscribe, and we greatly appreciate that. And we'll be right back after the short break.
Thanks for listening to My Daddy's Show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
My friends, when choosing a listing agent to sell your home, their track record is critically important. Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Real Estate. They're consistently rated by the MLS in the top 1% of all Tampa Bay realtors, and that's a big deal. Brandon and Lindsay are always among the top realtors in the state. Call them today at 813-750-0550.
Find them at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
Platinum MVP Team, Keller Williams Realty, hot listing right here in beautiful Pinellas County, Tampa Bay, 1200 Gulf Boulevard. This is a penthouse. Beautiful property, 18th floor, 1805 is the unit number, $2.67 million listing. This is for my VIPs, my executives. I want you to take a look at 1200 Gulf Boulevard right here in Clearwater Beach. It's on Sand Key. Just a gorgeous property. It's too many upgrades to list here on the show, but I would urge you to check out the website. There's also a video on our Facebook page, Brandon Rhymes PA, the Platinum MVP Team, Keller Williams Realty, 1200 Gulf Boulevard, Clearwater. This is a beautiful 4,000 square foot penthouse in Clearwater, #1 beach destination on the planet, and we would love to talk to you about it. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
And a quick shout out to Veteran Gutters. Brandon Porter and his team do a great job. He is a veteran. He owns a company called Veteran Gutters, American-made products, and they do such a great job in installing them. Him and his team, they were just a pleasure to work with. Veteran Gutters, Brandon Porter and his team. If you're thinking about gutters, reach out to our friends at Veteran Gutters. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, attorney Jason Kobal back in studio here. Jason, what's new in your world, man?
I had an interesting situation last week I wanted to share, and it's something I talked about before, but, with the COVID social media use, just people have been on the computer more, buying stuff over the internet. I mean, Amazon doubled, I think, in value. But I had a deposition of a client, and he liked to use social media.
Yep.
And this defense attorney printed out every comment, every post, and literally went through on such and such date. You said X, Y, and Z. You rode a bike. Isn't your restriction no excessive, use of your legs or whatever the situation was? And every little post he used against my client. And it was an hour and 15 minutes of going through every post, every comment, and it's just... It's an avoidable problem. So, and I don't know, I guess my client didn't understand me during the interview, but I'll tell all my clients, if you are in this case, or even if you have your own litigation, whatever it is, either stop social media or be very mindful, because they will use it against you.
Right.
And now I have to deal with all kinds of inconsistencies that wouldn't exist if he wasn't overusing that social media.
Yeah, and sometimes when you get into those cases, if it's a car accident or something like that, it's like, hey, we're not saying that you can't, or like as far as the let's just say the defense person here is saying, look, I'm not saying that I'm incapacitated, I can't do these things, but what I am saying is when I go to do these things, I'm in pain.
I pay for it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I pay for it later. So doesn't that play into your favor in some case? In to a certain extent.
As long as the client explains it away like that, that's fine. But sometimes, when they get called out on violating their restrictions on what they're allowed to do, instead of saying that, which is a wise way to handle, about the only way you can handle it, they try to deny it, and just beating their head off the wall makes a bad situation worse.
Yeah, exactly. Social media, we've heard that also with some of our divorce attorneys on the show over the years. It's, certain things you can't say, you can't do, and, then you end up at the closing table with, or not the closing table, that's a real estate term, but, where you have the settlements and they bring all pennies and pay the person in all pennies or something. Yeah.
Right. It's like doing surveillance for them for nothing.
Exactly.
Let them pay for their surveillance. Don't do it for them.
Make them work for it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so you see that in your personal injury more so cases, I would think.
Personal injury, workers' comp, yep. All day, every day. But that one was the first time that, honestly, he had a separate folder. He brought with him the defense attorney, and it, with a fine-tooth comb, went through everyone. This day you missed work. You said you had back pain, but yet you were able to jog for a half hour, according to your social media.
Wow.
It was a disaster.
Unbelievable. Yeah. So you have those challenges now, and so what in the legal profession are we back in the courtroom? Is it mostly Zoom? What are we seeing?
Good question. It's a slow transition. Like, for example, I have my associate's first trial, who is also my nephew, so I'm nervous, on Thursday, and it's also the very first time in Kobal law history I'm letting an attorney other than myself do a trial.
Oh, cool.
But at any rate, we have to travel all the way to the east coast of Florida for this proceeding, and then my client, he's appearing by Zoom. So it's interesting. So the witnesses are going to be by Zoom, and the attorneys are going to be there in person.
Interesting.
So that's like we're halfway there.
That's pretty neat. So you've got an understudy now.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep, for the past year. So I've been in love with him since he's born. He's my nephew. I've always, he had a great athletic career. He actually played quarterback at Kent State.
Nice.
Not Penn State, Kent State. but so he's my protege.
That's cool. So he's went with you into the courtroom, of course, and watched you.
Oh, yeah, he passed the bar. Now he's a full-blown lawyer, so I've trained him. He's watched me. He's done depositions, so now he's ready. Let's see if he could win his first hearing in court. We'll see.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah.
It's all about the preparation, right?
Yeah, that's
just
what I told
like a game
him.
plan.
That's it.
Right.
I go, there's no more 8 hours a day. You better be prepping like crazy until this hearing, so we'll see.
There you go. Yep, get your... in the negotiation book we talked about, to get your BATNA, the best alternative to a negotiated agreement. You get your negotiation one sheet with all the different contingencies that could come up, how you're going to overcome those. What potentially, what are some labels and some mirrors that you can use in the case. To have an open-ended dialogue. It's neat to see how this stuff plays out in real life.
Oh yeah. I mean, you got to over prepare and be ready for anything, and then understand you're still going to get surprised. There's always going to be a curveball or something will pop up. So it's exciting.
Yeah.
So I expect to win, though, so we better win.
That's it. You do. You got to. We're talking with attorney Jason Kobal here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, Kobal Law. TampaWorkCompLaw.com is the website, TampaWorkCompLaw.com. Jason Kobal, longtime friend of the program. What else are you seeing? Some of the things that are topical, too, in just the overall economy is inflation super high, labor's low. Mask mandates, some of that stuff has gone away. No local ordinance now per the governor. Any comment on that kind of stuff?
Well, I'm just happy, so proud of our governor, because he was the first really to start opening the state. Long before people thought he was crazy, the mainstream media was chastising him.
Oh yeah.
But that gamble paid off, and he continues to make great moves. He just I heard that they're talking about sports betting. Being legalized. I think that's great. Yep. So things are great. As far as the inflation goes, My brother is Kobal contracting in Pennsylvania. I'm Kobal law down here in Florida, but he was telling me the lumber prices are outrageous. I mean, the materials are outrageous. And then getting materials delivered is a problem.
Yeah.
So it's just tough times for everybody. But
it's amazing how it shifted like that too, isn't it?
Yep. But you know what he said?
100 days.
I agree. You got to go with the flow, though. You know, you can't let it beat you. You got to just, you know.
You got to adapt. You got to try to figure out. Maybe I say, maybe you go to steel, but then steel's the same thing. Wood, steel. I mean, all materials are up there, and it's unbelievable, and it's really scary to see too. You get Bitcoin, you got all these different dynamics now in the market. People are confused, and they say, "Well, I'm just going to buy gold and silver." Well, that's great, but those prices have been propped up for so long. How much gold and silver can you actually buy? When you think about hedging against inflation, one of the things I see a lot of times too, and I think about, and personally, thinking about, is buying land. North Florida.
Yeah.
You can get some acreage in North Florida for a pretty penny.
Yeah, land is always good.
It's a great hedge.
Yeah.
You get 18 acres, you sell some timber, you get 100 acres, whatever it might be. Worst case scenario, you're up there, hunting ducks and deer and hogs or whatever, right? I mean, worst case, fishing and, that type of thing, dig a pond.
Yeah, no, that's always a good investment, absolutely.
Yeah. Some way to hedge against inflation. So, Jason, what else are you seeing? So we talk a little bit about the personal injury law, back in the actual courtroom lawsuits now. What are you seeing on the work comp law side? Wasn't there some kind of a change in recent law that we talked about too?
Well, there was the change for psych claims that first responders are now allowed to file psych claims without a corresponding physical injury, which is brand new.
Right.
I wish they would expand that to anybody. I mean, I have to prove a physical injury. If I could prove that it's related to the accident, then, I win that case, and they're on the hook for providing the care for that injury. I feel it should be no less. It should be the same for a psychiatric injury for anybody.
Right.
But you know what? Before this law change, you had to have a physical injury, or else nobody could have a psych injury related to a comp case. So at least now for the first responders, because they do so much and they sacrifice so much. So I'm glad for their sake that they can now do that. Because, they could witness some horrific things, not have a physical injury, and have one heck of a psychiatric injury that prior to this change they couldn't get. They're going to get compensation for it.
Yeah, and we look at all of our troops coming from overseas. You look at the medical, the medical profession, the paramedics, all those different scenarios rushing up to, a situation where something majorly bad had just unfolded, and then they're in this position where they got to go home with that and supposedly, tuck in their kids at night and not think about it somehow.
Yeah.
And it's that, that PTSD is a real deal.
That's absolutely right. And another thing going on in workers' comp, which is more personal to my practice, a lot of injured workers are getting billed. I mean, it happens all the time. And then listeners out there, even if you had a case where you had a minor injury, you went to the hospital, and then you went right back to work, didn't hire a lawyer, that's still a valid workers' comp case. If you receive that hospital bill, even if you sent it and got paid, that's a violation of your rights. Give me a call.
Yeah, don't let them do that to your rights. Don't let them violate it. Reach out to the hotline, 813-750-0550. You can call or text that line, 813-750-0550. We'll put you right in touch with Jason Kobal, attorney Jason Kobal. Stay with us more with Jason when we come back here. We're going to take a quick break and might touch on these vaccines. I want to touch on vaccines a little bit, health resources. There's a hrsa.gov site I want to mention to you about. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Now, here's a question that I would love to ask Joe Biden. If vaccines are always the answer, then why is it that the Health Resources and Services Administration, a department of our government, has a national vaccine injury compensation program funded by taxpayers? And they have paid out billions of dollars. Did you know that? Did you know that there is a taxpayer-funded effort that gives you money? It subsidizes you if you get injured by vaccines. So if vaccines create injuries, why are taxpayers having to subsidize it? You guys can look at it yourself. Type into your search engine, hopefully it's not Google, National Vaccine Injury Compensation Program, HRSA.gov. It's a whole website. They have forms that you can fill out.
All righty, in that case, everyone, please stand by.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Team, Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate deals. If you're buying, selling, or investing, we would love to talk to you. Reach out to the hotline, 813-750-0550. Call or text 813-750-0550. A couple of commercial properties here. We list all types of properties at our brokerage, and we have residential, commercial, and vacant land properties, and all of those areas are really great markets right now. Hot property listing, 1602 East MLK, right here in Tampa Bay. Gill's Body Shop is available for sale. This is a corner lot location. 45 years in business, so he's getting a ton of repeat business, lots of cash business. Okay, 1602 East MLK, Gill's Body Shop right here in Tampa Bay, $496,000. Great opportunity here for a commercial building in Tampa, one of the hottest real estate markets in the nation, 1602 East MLK. Also, another business for sale, 5402 U.S. Highway 92. We got a bar for sale out in Plant City. If you ever thought of owning a bar, a liquor license, it's a 4COP liquor license. 5402 U.S. Highway 92 bar for sale in Plant City. This is the Finish Line Saloon. It's corner lot. Great opportunity, lots of parking, and we would love for you to check out all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. And a quick shout out to Discovery Golf Cars. Discovery Golf Cars right here in Tampa Bay, Clearwater location, Tampa location. And I love my Keller Williams Red. I wrapped it, golf cart with the Easy Go. I wrapped it with the Keller Williams Red, the Consumer Quarterback Show. I go around in the neighborhoods, have fun. I do some door knockings from time to time, take the dogs out. It seems like everybody's getting a golf car these days. They've got lots of makes and models. Easy Go, Star EV, Cushman, pre-owned, and you can also rent or buy from Golf Cart Depot, aka Discovery Golf Cars. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, so there's been a lot said about mask mandates and vaccines, and we're just asking questions here. I'm not taking a side. I'm not picking a side. I'm just asking questions. So it seems like there's a resource for you as well. You want to check this out, HRSA.gov. I'm going to play a quick clip from one of my fellow Salem Radio Network hosts, Charlie Kirk. I'm going to play a quick clip here about vaccines.
Now, here's a question that I would love to ask Joe Biden. If vaccines are always the answer, then why is it that the Health Resources and Services Administration, a department of our government, has a national vaccine injury compensation program funded by taxpayers? And they have paid out billions of dollars. Did you know that? Did you know that there is a taxpayer-funded effort that gives you money? It subsidizes you if you get injured by vaccines. So if vaccines create injuries, why are taxpayers having to subsidize it? You guys can look at it yourself. Type into your search engine, hopefully it's not Google, National Vaccine Injury Compensation Program, HRSA.gov. It's a whole website. They have forms that you can fill out.
Billions paid out. Billions of dollars paid out. It's taxpayer subsidized. So all of our small business owners, all of us, a lot of times it's the middle class just getting pounded the hardest here in this new administration. The middle class running a lot of the taxpayer. So there's this taxpayer-funded organization called the Health Resources and Services Administration. Okay. if so, Charlie's asking, if vaccines are always the answer, then why is there this fund sitting there? And by the way, why have we paid out billions of dollars? And the other thing that he and Tucker Carlson have both brought up and mentioned, over 3,500 people have died. That's more than died in the 9/11 towers.
Right. I heard 3,500 died, and then I also heard it was like 10,000 people who had the vaccine ended up getting it, obviously, and then dying. 3,500 died, but others got it. You get the vaccine, so you don't get it. And I know there's a small percentage that they say you could get it again, but that seems like a significant number. But I could understand why that exists, and I think it has to be by taxpayers' money, because these pharmaceutical giants, they were immune. We wanted to motivate them to try to, do what they had to do to come up with the vaccine.
That's right.
And they didn't even get full approval. It's emergency approval that all these people are getting these vaccines. So in an effort to allow them to go ahead and do what they have to do to make that happen, we gave them protection that they can't be sued.
Exactly.
And honestly, I can't wait to go home and look at this site to look at the numbers. What I didn't know is that there was that much payout.
Yeah.
That's a little scary. You got to see which vaccines and, which amounts, because that is a little bit scary. Yeah. But, I mean, since you can't sue them, where do you go? Right. So I bet that's why that exists. But I'll tell you what, it's a whole different story. When you're suing in civil court a private company, you could get mental anguish, pain, and suffer, all these things. And when you're getting money through the government, it's always going to be significantly less.
Right.
I know on a personal
municipality, any local municipality, any municipality that has certain rules and regulations, you can't get a certain amount, or you can't even take certain actions against them, right?
Oh, yeah, all different types of rules. And I even recently, there was a medication that was part of a class action. I was curious, and then, I ended up getting a little check. It was peanuts, but it's like, good gosh, that's in exchange for being able to sue them in civil court. This is what you get. It's not that great.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to look at this, because that's very interesting.
Yeah,
it says a lot.
It's just one more thing to consider. I mean, in this crazy world we live in with social media, and as you were mentioning, the immunity for the vaccine companies, Pfizer, JJ, you have you also, what popped in my mind was the big tech. Same thing. They can censor certain people, shut certain people off. To me, that's just unbelievably, it's un-American, right?
Oh, it definitely is un-American. And, especially when you look at the social media, like the Facebook and the Twitter, I mean, President Trump, for example, he used that communication to get around the media.
That's right.
And clearly, the whole point of those sites is to communicate. And in America, we believe in free speech, and we don't censor people.
Yeah.
So for them to do it under those circumstances, man, I hope that somebody does something about that.
Yeah. We're talking with attorney Jason Kobal here on the program, Kobal Law, TampaWorkCompLaw.com, TampaWorkCompLaw.com. And Jason, I was looking at another documentary the other day, and it was saying how in 1995, Congress passed a resolution stating that Jerusalem would be to move the embassy to Israel, or Jerusalem, and Israel, in 1995. So 20-something plus years ago, and every 6 months, Clinton, Bush, and Obama signed a little waiver. They had a 6-month waiver that said, nope, if we feel national security would be hampered by that, we can extend it 6 months. We can extend it 6 months. They did that for 20-something years.
Despite every one of them promised that they were going to do it in the campaign leading up.
Exactly.
So
it's just unbelievable, when you start thinking about, those types of things outside of our area. All right, so back to Tampa Bay, back to work comp law, personal injury law right here in Tampa Bay. What's a final thought from you, Jason?
I may have said this before, but make sure, if you have a personal injury case, make sure that you pick an attorney that you trust and that you're communicating with, and that your attorney is the one working on your case and not some paralegal or assistant. No disrespect for them. They're awesome.
Right.
But the attorney is the one with the license, and he's the professional and the expert that's going to make those calls that are going to get you the best possible outcome.
Right on. Good stuff. All right. Thanks a lot, Jason. Appreciate you coming in. TampaWorkCompLaw.com. Check him out online. Stay with us. We got Nate Ginter coming up as well, Chief Technology Officer for Vine IT. And he brought some really cool stories to talk about, some different things happening in his space. So you're not going to want to miss this. It's great information around the IT space right here in Tampa Bay. We'll be right back after a short break. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is Diane Vance with Fairway Independent Mortgage, a member of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Please give me a call for any of your mortgage needs. We do all sorts of loans. If you would like information on a mortgage, you can text me or call me at 727-647-8199. I will take care of all your mortgage needs. Go to my website at dianevance.com.
Ian Beckles here with my man Brandon Rhymes, a.k.a. the real estate quarterback. Brandon, what's happening with the market?
Thanks, Ian. We are in a low inventory market, so any of our listeners are homeowners and would like a free comparable market analysis or a 2.5% listing, we will honor this for the first 3 listeners who call or text in 813-773-1253. Free CMA and a 2.5% real estate listing at 813-773-1253. Check out consumerqb.com. Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, or investing. We would love to talk to you. And we'd like to thank our sponsors here as well for the program. Bilmar Beach Resort, longtime friend of the program. Say hello to Clyde Smith, general manager at the Bilmar Beach Resort. Just what a wonderful hotel to visit on the beach, beachfront. 90% of the rooms have a beach and waterfront view. Bilmar Beach Resort, longtime friends of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Give them a call, book directly, and let them know the real estate quarterback sent you so you can take them up on special offers and incentives. All right, we got Nate Ginter back in the house, Chief Technology Officer, Vine IT. Welcome back, my friend.
Hey, great to be here, Brandon. Thanks.
Hey, thanks for coming in. So we appreciate you bringing these great stories because this is very timely right now, and with your company, you're in that space. You're in the the technology space. You're seeing a lot of hacking going on. You've got the different situations where especially in the news last week. Let's jump right into the pipeline, the oil pipeline. What's your take on that and how it was presented to the public?
Sure. So that was an interesting one. So that was yet another, we hear about these ransomware attacks all the time. Defending against ransomware and how to do it is one of the biggest things I get, in my industry, doing managed IT. And so these guys, their office staff, which is the sort of, back end billing, executive management. Someone there got a ransomware on their computer that spread out. Most likely, we think it's through an email that they opened. Actually, that opened that up to the outside. And as a result of that, the entire pipeline was shut down. As you may have heard, it's one of the reasons, higher gas prices, natural gas is, they're one of the largest pipeline providers in the region. So the interesting thing about it from a cybersecurity perspective was the industrial controls, which are the actual pipeline controls themselves, were never breached, and they actually said that. So it's interesting, from a you try to segregate out your important systems, and one of the analogies I use would be like hey, somebody in the mayor's office opened up a bad email, so we shut off all the traffic lights. Yeah, that's an odd call to make. It can be a little tinfoil hatty for sure, but one of the things are that hey, they're a pipeline, and you're going to buy that at whatever price they sell it. So, if they have to increase the price at, 10-20% to compensate for maybe being a little overzealous even, we're going to end up paying it as consumers.
Does that increase their profits?
That is an interesting question. It's hard to know. It will be interesting to see a quarter two revenue report to see how that stacks up against quarter one.
Yeah.
If we do see all of a sudden that, hey, despite this attack, we had a pretty significant revenue increase there. Well, there's going to be your answer. The proof will be in the pudding.
Yeah.
Now they did pay $5 million in ransom, which doesn't sound like a lot. But typically, I try to explain to people that deal with this space, they really don't typically ask for a ton. When they were locking down the entire city of Atlanta, they only asked for $3 million. Now, that's not a lot of money. They're trying to get in, make their money, and they want to get out.
So they're making it a reasonable request.
Correct. Now,
it sounds like a big amount, but not to these municipalities, not to these hugely, large budgets.
And I can tell you from just the space that we practice in, small to medium businesses are a huge target. They were actually up 47% last year. And I'm talking businesses under 50 people. So, a lot of people think that, I run a small insurance agency or, a small law firm. I don't really have to worry about that like the big guys do. The truth is anybody that in any way touches financial services, medical data, anything like that, you are at risk at any size you are. So one of the things that we recommend is, working with somebody. I always say you don't have to work with me, but work with somebody. Have somebody come in and take a look and do what's called a cybersecurity assessment for your company.
Nice.
Take a look at it and find out where your holes are. You're not always going to be able to fix everything right away, but there are some basic low-hanging fruit that a lot of companies just aren't making themselves aware of, kind of that head in the clouds. I'm just going to assume everything's good. And a lot of times, people are even paying for technology and controls that they're not even taking advantage of. There's simple security things that you can do that just aren't being done, whether it's out of laziness or maybe just lack of adapting to the space.
Well, I got a question for you.
Sure.
By the way, we're talking with Nate Ginter here. He's the Chief Technology Officer, Vine IT, VineIT.com, VineIT.com. I speaking of that example, I signed up for one of the different sites that is supposed to be a the name escapes me now that I go to say it on air. Yeah, it gives you like a layer between you and the internet.
Oh, VPN.
Yeah. So I signed up on it, and of course, all of the phone problems I was already having. Of course, I go into AT&T, and they're saying, "Oh, well, that's what's causing the problem." So they blame it on that, and I'm trying to do the right thing here.
So the interesting thing with a lot of those phone VPN services, there's a lot of things they don't tell you. So all they're doing is basically making a secure tunnel between point A and point B for your traffic. So rather than your phone just responding directly to requests, it's routing it through somewhere else.
Yep.
Does that make it a little bit more secure? Yes, if it's a good service. The problem is a lot of your phone applications and a lot of the things that you're doing on your phone are not built to be run through a pipeline like that.
Right.
Some of the newer phones that are out there from Samsung and the Google Pixel series, 5 already has it, 6 is going to have it. They actually are natively doing that at the hardware level of the phone. So we won't really have to worry about depending on those services as much anymore. And the other part that is a little bit interesting with some of the VPN services that are out there, they can actually significantly slow down your connection. So if you're trying to do something like, stream Netflix or get to a certain thing, it might be routing you out through a server in San Diego.
Wow.
And here you are on the other side of the country. So your computer's making laps around the nation every time you're trying to, to access anything.
Yeah,
for sure.
And that could be frustrating. Nate, that's definitely a frustrating point. Let me get to our tease here. I teased this story. I got to get this story in real quick, and then more from Nate. I want to ask you about your the offer you made, because I think we should make a queue for that and have people text in if they want to get an assessment done, because they're probably vulnerable. Like you said, they've got holes in their boat. They're rowing their boat down the lake, down the stream, and they're filling up, but they don't realize it.
Absolutely.
So I want to tee that up after this.
Tell me something good.
All right, our feel-good story of the day. Boy with prosthetic leg finds best friend in puppy born without a paw. So Marvel was the only puppy from her litter born without a front right paw, but she was destined to belong to a home that needed her the most. The golden retriever puppy born without the paw was found her forever home in Minnesota family 7-year-old Paxton Williams, who had his right leg amputated 3 years ago. And quote, When she was born, we knew right away she had a special purpose. The breeder, Barb Felt, said. And we wanted her to go to a home with someone who had a limb difference. So that's where Paxton came in. He was born premature. He had a problem with his leg. And then now he has a beautiful golden retriever puppy. And now they can be friends. So that's awesome. Feel good story of the day for you. So back to Nate. So Nate Ginter, Consumer Quarterback Show. I love that. Let's explain what you want to do. And I want to offer this out to our listeners, our viewers out there, have them text in, or they'll text
Absolutely.
a certain word.
If you check out vineit.com, we've got a space right there with some cybersecurity tips for you, some work from home tips. You can schedule a free consultation to we'll set up a meeting with you, go over the basics of your business, and let you know how you can have somebody come out and, like I said, look at the different technologies you're using, look at the different security things that we can put in place for you to make sure that you have zero exposure to ransomware and things like that. Especially making sure you got a good backup is, I always say, it's the last thing you think about, but your number one priority.
Right, yeah, it should be. Exactly. I mean, it's the same thing with your wallet. If you have your physical wallet, you got your cards, your debit, your license, make a copy, especially if you're traveling overseas, make a copy, fax it to yourself, scan it in, somehow just have a copy somewhere. But let's do this for the first 3 listeners who text in. Nate, what he'll do is he'll offer a kind of a checkup. He'll offer a checkup on your cybersecurity. If you're running a contracting business, a real estate, mortgage, title business, what kind of systems and safe places do you have in place?
Absolutely.
Text the word VineIT to 813-750-0550. Just simply pull out your smartphone, shoot us a quick text message. If you're driving, just leave a voicemail. We'll get to you. And just text the word VineIT or checkup to 813-750-0550, and we'll put you in touch with Nate Ginter and his team from Vine IT. Kind of get a check and see what's going on with your business and potentially even personal finances too, right?
Absolutely. So we do, any business that we talk to, even if they're going to, be on the cybersecurity side or our, full service managed IT side, when we come in, I always like to leave you with a good plan. My big sales pitch is always, you don't have to use me, but you should use somebody.
Right.
Let me point you in the right direction. We manage businesses of all scales and sizes, so there's a lot of different products that you wouldn't think an insurance agency might have something in common with a law firm. But I'm like, hey, we can get rid of a bunch of old technology you're using, get you on some, find the Netflix of whatever you're looking to do.
Right.
It'll be cheaper, easier for you, and you can use it from anywhere.
Yeah.
Use it securely and encrypted. So that's a big part of what we do on a daily basis for sure.
Yeah, that's super awesome. And then you had brought in another story as well. Do you want to get to that one?
Absolutely. So just one of the things I wanted to make everybody aware of is, we're hearing about shortages. We're just talking about some shortages in the lumber industry and different things that are there. Microchips worldwide, very troubled area. So Wuhan, aside from we all know it from Corona, is also a big deal in chip manufacturing. Wow. That was like the number 2 thing that they do, and also because of the rapid spread and those areas hit first and hit hardest. Especially before any kind of vaccine was thought of. Chip production was shut down for about 6 months in most major areas. So where you're seeing that translated is, a lot of people don't even know a new Xbox that's incredible was released before Christmas last year. You didn't see them on any shelves and they weren't available because you couldn't get them.
Wow.
Each store maybe got 10, 15 units in some cases.
Wow.
So there's been every major manufacturer from Intel to AMD, NVIDIA that make all these cool stuff for, different games, home automation systems. All their newest products are incredibly hard to find right now.
Now, what's the bottleneck? Is it the precious metals involved?
It's not so much so there's bottlenecks at every level. Don't get me wrong, because this has been a worldwide issue. But the fact that they weren't rolling facilities that were making them. So there's much like lumber, there's only so much timber to come in. But even when those logs come in, they still got to be cut. They've got to be sized out, proportionally.
Yep.
Then somebody has to deliver them. So, everything from logistics, international shipping's a mess right now.
Wow.
So there's all these factors that have led up to that. Now they're ramping up production again, so it's getting going. But they're estimating that it could be for normal, chip production and distribution for all. And there's a microchip in pretty much everything but what you buy at the grocery store anymore.
Unbelievable. Your cars are so computerized now. It's like, I know it frustrates a lot of the old school mechanics. They're like, man, I can't fix these things.
What a lot of people don't realize is the same companies that make the computer chips for your cell phones also make them for your laptops, your tablets, your computers, worldwide servers. There's only so many manufacturing facilities in the world. They're extremely expensive to start up. So it's not like you just go, I'm going to, just build 10 more factories. Well, you can, but I'll see you in 5 years. So 2023 is when they actually say they think that full production and logistics will be back to normal. So
unbelievable.
Just be careful if you're out shopping for something. The example I always give is the Xbox, as everybody understands what that is. And you can find one right now, but it'll cost you $1,000. Now, typically they're about $500.
Yeah.
And you have to buy that from somebody who's, either a scalper or, be very careful when you're shopping online.
What a great addition to our team. Nate Ginter doing a great job. Thanks for bringing the technology side of this show to life. Doing a great job, man. Chief Technology Officer, Vine IT. VineIT.com. Check them out online and take them up on that offer. Hey, another great show. I want to thank all of our producers, our team behind the scenes, attorney Jason Kobal, as well as Dan MENIKHEIM on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show.